Going out west here, I have the Sacramento Kings, and the three things I have. The first one, Sabonis is the triple double king again. Last year, led the league in triple doubles. Was going back and forth, neck and neck with Jokic, but if Domantas Sabonis continues to, be that player, that glue guy that does a little bit of everything for the Kings, keeps them in the games with his scoring, passing, able to get rebounds all over the place. I think one of the better rebounders, if not the best, in the league as well. So continuing to be dominant on all three fronts there, I think, is essential for them. Next one I have is DeMar DeRozan and De'Aaron Fox are the perfect duo. This team could score a lot of points this year. DeMar DeRozan is as good and consistent a scorer as anyone in the league still at his mid-30 age. Going to the Kings that have such a high-scoring offense, they run and gun. I think Fox and DeRozan could be great together. Sabonis as well, making their big three. They are a high-scoring duo. They complement each other well. I think that they could be back to being in the top end of the Western Conference like they were just 2 years ago. And then the third one, just to kind of, just bring us back to reality here, is the West needs to fall apart. Yes, they could be a top 3-4 team in the West, but I think some things would have to happen there because there's a lot of good teams out West. The top three to come to mind are Denver, Oklahoma City, and Minnesota. That's the three-headed monster out West. And, of course, there's a few other teams.
No love for Dallas?
Listen, they made the finals. I'll give them that. But then you do have teams like Dallas, New Orleans, who just got DeJounte Murray, the Lakers, the Clippers, I mentioned, that could still be a playoff team. There's a lot of – and I know there's teams I'm probably missing out. Houston can make a jump this year. San Antonio with Chris Paul, Wemby, who knows what they can do. Memphis – teams are just popping into my head now. I mean, there's just a lot of really loaded teams in the West, and the Kings, I do think that they are a playoff team. They're a team in that contention, but for them to be a top seeded team in the West, a lot needs to fall apart. So,
yeah, taking it from the top here, Sabonis definitely another huge season. Definitely is in the prime of his career, so I'm expecting the 17 to 18 points a game. 10 to 15 boards. I think he led the league in rebounding this year. Mm-hmm. So, be a top 10, top 15 guy in assists. Like, you're the baby Jokic, man. So, keep doing baby Jokic-like things. That's always going to be important. DeRozan and Fox being the perfect duo, it's like, I'm interested to see how this goes. Because the Kings definitely run a faster pace kind of offense. Like, we see every single year when the offensive rating or efficiency rating is, it's a new record. They did it 2 years ago. Austin broke it again this year. Yeah. So DeMar's game kind of could slow that pace down just from I'm more of I can thrive at a half-court kind of player. Yeah. Do an ISO kind of situation on the left wing or whatever. Like, I'm interested to see how that kind of works out, to be honest. And the last point here, a lot has to go right. And a lot for other teams has to go wrong for any team to kind of pop out. Like for Dallas, the way the matchups lined up this year, in 2024 for them, where they didn't have to see Denver, where they it was perfect. Like, because that's the one team I think that if they would have lined up with them at any point, I would have picked Denver to win that series.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have picked Dallas. Well. So, matchups kind of have to go according to plan. Somebody's hurt. Or whatever it is, we don't wish that upon anybody, but it definitely helps you get where you need to be. Absolutely. Yeah. But one point I want to add here before we go to the next team, that I'm kind of surprised you didn't mention this dude. Keegan Murray needs to have a breakout kind of year because there's still enough time for him to, get adjusted and figure out who he is. But adding in DeMar obviously takes away from the touches that he would get for the chances of growth that he could potentially have. So still finding a way to be effective and grow your game in this offense, whatever Mike Brown is going to draw up, is kind of interesting to see how that all kind of falls together.
Can he fit in as a fourth option? Can he be a really good fourth option? Because if he does and he plays his role perfectly, then that could go a long way for Sacramento.
Yeah. Because I got to say, I'm not really enthralled with these power forwards that should probably be more threes playing the four, and that's what Keegan's going to do since Sabonis is the 5-man. Right. I'm not – I get that's the new NBA, and that's where we're trending, but it's kind of like
I'd imagine in my head like Sabonis is a 4, Keegan is a
As a
3.
3. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
we'll see.
maybe they do run it that way. I don't know what's happening with Kevin Huerter either this year. So